and then we will rock, dude. So today, all right, so we got a loop. We got a 5 week loop. Give us some feedback. All right, we'll share with you guys all of our topics, Bryce. It don't matter, right? We can put, hey, here's
Nope.
what we got. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
share with us. Hey, here's our 5 week loop. There's only so many things we talk about insurance. It's like there's only so many things. We can't be like, oh man, we got something new every single week. Nah, every 5 weeks we'll come up with something. Then we'll redo it. All right. But this is we're back to the top. Okay. And what we're gonna do today is mindset for success, positive self-talk, and belief. All right. There's so many different ways to talk about those things, but I think a great way to talk about it is kind of where Jason finished off his call previously and kind of where we were talking about before affirmations is, how do we see us? And that's the number one thing. Sean used to always ask me, he goes like, why should people be in business with you? Why should a client want to buy insurance from you? Why? What sets you apart from other people? If I asked you right now, Connor, if I said, hey man, what makes you different than other insurance agents? I get calls all the time. Why are you different? Now, every client's not going to ask you this, by the way. By the way, just so y'all know, they're not going to ask you this, but they want to know. But it's not scripted. We don't have in there that goes, hey, share your story right here. But Connor, if I asked you, hey, why should I buy insurance from you? What are you going to tell me? Why should I work with you?
Um, I guess just tell them, I'm gonna be there for them, and then kind of give them that story. I guess
No, no,
something
no.
that
Just tell me right now,
some
right off the top of your head. Boom. Why should you be my agent? Why should I believe you?
yeah, I should be your agent because I'm gonna be the one who's gonna make sure your family gets a check on the worst day of their life,
Okay.
and kind of see what they say from there. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, no one's ever really said that though. So kind of off the top of my head.
See, and here's the thing. When I work with people, think about in business, right? Nobody calls you up and goes, hey, why should I work with you? But that's on their mind. If any of you guys got interviewed by me, anybody else you're working with, was it on your mind of why should I work with this fool? The insurance industry is huge, right? It's huge. When you make a decision, you're picking the person, not the industry. So why should I work with you? What makes you different, dude? Hey, Connor. Hey, man, I've been in this industry now for about 6 months. And one thing I'll tell you about me, man, is that I'm gonna work my butt off to do everything I can for you and your family. I went through some personal things of myself when I was 19, had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, almost lost my life per se, but with God's grace, I'm still here. I didn't have a family, kids, everything that you got going on, but I need to. The reason I do this is because I know things that like happened to me could happen to you and everybody else. So I may not have all the life experience you have, but I do know things happen. And today is the best day for you to take care of it. And I'm the best person to help you out with that, Connor. Make sense? Now, they didn't ask me, but dude, people want strength. And there's a lot of different places for you to share your story with people too. Share your story every single time. So I'm gonna help you out, Connor. So like if I'm if I'm rolling through, right, and I'm asking them questions, right? What's your typical lines of questions when you get to the structure piece, right? Not structure, but the why, right? You're asking me about your beneficiary and all that type of stuff, right?
Mhm.
All right. So let's work through on how you can tell you. Okay, well, actually, this is how I did a lot of it. I would ask them questions about them, right? A little bit like, hey, your beneficiary, it's your wife, how long you guys been married. Then I put a little pause in there. Hey, real quick, I got more questions about you and you, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me. Does it make sense? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me. All right. I've been in this industry for however long. Tell the truth, dude. Been in this industry for freaking 3 months. Or when I started, it was, hey, I've been in this industry for about, a month, two. And you know what, man? To be honest with you, my goal wasn't to like be calling people up and selling them insurance. That wasn't my goal in life. Actually, I'm 25 years old and I thought I'd be playing professional baseball. That's what I thought I'd be doing. But I'm talking to you about insurance. All right. But the cool thing I'm talking about you about insurance is that I don't have to call you and convince you that you need life insurance. You fill out a form and send it back to us. So that's why I started doing this. Now, also, when I was 19 years old, I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which let me know that every day wasn't promised. Okay, you see how like, dude, you have your story though, right? So do what I just did to you, do it to me. Okay, do it to me. So, you get through. You ask me my beneficiary. I tell you it's my wife. Yeah, we've been married for 10 years. Okay, and then you find, see, you guys, you got to find that good place for you to share something about you. And a lot of this goes from they deposit some, you deposit some. It's hard for you to deposit some after you ask them everything about them because they kind of start to shut off if you don't give them anything about you. So it has to kind of go back and forth a little bit with this give and take. Make sense? Give a little bit, give some more about you. So I told you a little bit about me now. Tell me about you.
Okay, so you've been married for 10 years. That's great. That's great.
Yep.
So a little bit about me, I got into this doing life insurance because when I was, 24, my mom, she got diagnosed with cancer, everything. And we just never know how long we're going to be here. So I just wanted to jump into this. That way I can help people, with the worst day of their life.
Slow down with that because it's going to hurt you a little bit to slow down and talk about this. You see how fast you went over that? You're a
Yeah.
man's man, dude. It's your mom. Okay? But I need you to slow down. I need you to let me know what type of cancer she has. I need you to let me know what her treatment is. Okay? So let's do that again. All right? I've been doing this how long? I got into this because of this. My mom has X type of cancer. She's doing this types of treatments. I even take her to her treatments on these days, whatever let me know, bro, who you are. We're selling life insurance, bro, not Tupperware. You with me? This is important. And not for everybody else on here. Hopefully they take something from it. Great, dude. But it's important for you as a business owner and your clients. They need to know who you really are. Because once you tell them this story with conviction and articulation, there's no more this guy's trying to sell me something. That ship has sailed. My clients feel after I tell my story that, God, this guy was destined for greatness and shit. It looks like he just can't hit a baseball no more, so he's selling insurance and he's still going to do great things. And I'm honored to be a part of his business. Because it doesn't seem, does that make sense? Like, that's how I want my clients to feel. I want them to feel like, oh my God, another sales guy calling me, just trying to get me to buy life insurance. Hell no, dude, I don't even like life insurance until I was starting to get paid from it. Make sense? I don't want my clients to think that I was just waking up every day praying for life insurance sales. No, I want to be King Griffey Jr. Make sense? Like, that's what I wanted. But looks like they ain't signing me no more, and I wasn't as good as them. So now I'm talking to you about insurance. So what were your dreams? I'm sure your dreams wasn't to talk to me on a Sunday afternoon. So it's cool. What you got going on? Now they start telling you their dreams, their aspirations and stuff. And then we get back to the insurance because that's why we're talking. But sometimes there's common ground that, hey, you're just a normal person. How many people are finding that common ground not based on insurance, not based on some experience? You know what I mean? So let's do that again, dude. Let's do that. And if anybody wants to jump in, share. Everybody has a story. All right? Everybody has a story. So let's do it again, dude. So you know about
Yeah.
me? Boom. Share
Yeah.
with
So
me.
I got into this business just because at a young age, my mom, she got diagnosed, with cancer. It's showing me we never know, you know, when we're gonna go or anything like that. I was taking her to her treatments every Wednesday. She got colon cancer, and I just put like lit a fire into me so I can help other people.
Did y'all feel that a little different? Now, dude, you got 30 something people on here. Okay. Bro, that's so big. And we all have that. You have a story. Genevieve, you have a story. You're gonna be you work with horses, but you also do you're a pilot, you have your damn license, but since everything happened, there's not jobs like that. Your clients need to know that. They need to know that, hey, I was on the pursuit of this. And then, I was on my feet and then this came up about insurance. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know there was people who filled out forms for insurance. I didn't even know that. In my occupation, flying, I understand that you need life insurance, but I didn't know people actually filled forms out for it. So now I'm here talking to you about it. That's how I got into this. This was not my lot in life. But what I found is that I really like helping people and I don't want to be a broke ass. And life insurance pays very well if you like me. So, do you like me? You be like, shit like that works. Yes. If you believe in you and you know where you're coming from, dude, your clients are going to eat it up. But if you don't believe in you and you're trying to omit where you're coming from, you're going to be shooting and missing a lot. And sometimes they're going to go in. Bryce, can you echo any of this, dude? I remember me and you having some difficult. That's how I found out the most about Bryce was trying to figure out his sales process. That's how I learned about him. He's really closed off. You know what I mean? Like, just be straight up. He's not the most open person. You know what I mean? You'll look at him and be like, oh, everything's all good, and his world will be freaking crumbling around him, but he wouldn't tell you. But in sales, you gotta be that. And not a martyr. Look that up. Okay? You're not a martyr. You're just somebody who's given some perspective on where you've gone and how you can help them. Make sense, Bryce?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember, man, probably my second month or so, you know, because you knew a little bit about my story, but like you asked me, you're like, hey, are you telling, like you're talking with people about death. Your dad died with no life insurance. Like, are you telling your clients that? I was like, no. Like, it'll come up every once in a while, but it's not a part of me sharing what I do. And you're like, don't you think that would help? Like, help them realize that you've dealt with this and you're a human too, and that you're not just some guy in their house trying to sell them insurance. I was like, yeah, that probably would help, and since then I've told every single client, like, it's a part of, if it doesn't come up earlier in the appointment, then it's a part of, like, before I even show numbers or talk about the value of it. I always work that in at some point. Right. And then it evolved and then like, you also, because that's part of, like, hey, this is the value of insurance, but kind of like what we're talking about. That's, I can kind of relate to you, Connor, in the sense of, like, I don't sell insurance because my dad died and he didn't have life insurance. I sell life insurance because I needed something flexible enough that I had a sales job where I was confined to a specific territory. And I knew that if I wanted to drive 4 hours south and go help my mom when she was left in this house by herself, and I wanted to go help her, like, I would have to take time off, right? Or I'd have to get fired or leave my job. I needed something that I could do from anywhere. So when I first filled out the ad on Indeed, it was looking for jobs actually in the city that I grew up, 4 hours away from where I was living at the time. So, like, my initial, I need to do something different was all based around, I got to get back to where my mom is because my dad just passed. Does that make sense? And then it evolved into, actually, it's kind of like what Dom said, like, this is great because I can call people that have filled out forms when previously I was wringing people's neck to buy something and feel like I was annoying people all day because we didn't have any leads. Right. So, like, my story to clients is like, yeah, really, I mean, it just happens to be insurance. Right. And it's very powerful. And, it's impacted my family in a way that we didn't have it when my dad died. But really, I started doing this because when he did pass, I was 4 hours away from my mom. I needed to have a flexible job where I could be anywhere and not be fired. And so I could be at home with my mom, or I could be 4 hours north with my wife, wherever, and still be able to create income for my family. And also it helps that I'm calling you back because you filled out a form for this when previously I was banging down people's doors all day. So that's why I do this, you know? But I kind of same thing, Connor. Like I had to like take a step back, think about it. And that's all exactly why I'm doing this. It's all true, but I had to realize how to articulate it and make it a story. And I had to learn that like that will help. Like the more real and transparent I can be with them, that they're not expecting you to be like, I sell insurance because I love life insurance. You know what I mean? So you have to just keep it real with them about why you're actually doing it. And then we can get so much more on the same page and not just make it so about like you just be this robotic insurance person. And that's how I was coming across early on before I learned how to be a human a little bit more.
This is so good. So good.
I'm gonna speak, Dom, if you don't mind.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Um, so, and I'm sure you and Bryce have dealt with this, and people have been in the business a while, but I've had a lot of this lately, and I've had it in the past. But I've actually cried with my clients. Have you guys ever done that?
Yeah.
I mean, I literally tears coming down having these conversations, and that's when you really know that you're getting in with these people. Tell them your story, you hear their story, you're relating, and it's like, I mean, if you do that, it's not a fake cry. I mean, they're going to buy, and at that point, I really wouldn't even care if they bought or not. It's just that satisfaction of having to be able to talk to them to help them. Maybe just my conversation helped them. Maybe they can't afford it. Maybe they did. I don't know. But doing that, you need to get to the point and talk to these people to where you're on that level so you can actually know them. They know you. And I promise you, it's going to make a difference. That's what I've been doing.
Well,
Getting deeper with these people.
and there's a lot of value in building that relationship with clients and with our clients. And that's one thing. Here's one thing. Here, this may help. This may help, actually. Do you believe that when the client fills out the request, that they've decided that they want life insurance?
Yes.
You do. You sell 40 grand in 3 weeks. I know you do. Okay. But this is real. If I looked at Andy and said, hey, Andy, when those forms come in, do you actually believe that they want insurance? Because if we actually believe that they want insurance, now all our focus is building a relationship. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do is form a relationship based on something that we can find some common ground with. Our script is great. It's going to help you stay on path. But if I don't really believe that they want the insurance, I'm going to try to improv more of a sales conversation versus a relationship conversation as like built on questions. I'm going to jump right to price and stuff like that. It's not going to be based around what interest do you have? What do I have? How are, or even structure. Are they even following you? Okay? Because belief in your product, belief in what you do, dude, the client should be following you through the process. You guys aren't side by side. They're not leading you. All right? But B, how do you see yourself, though? How do you see yourself? What are you telling yourself about each? How do you want your client to see you? As the person who's helping them out with, a cheap policy, affordable policy, or the person who's taking care of their family? See, a lot of the trust and things that we have that we build with our clients initially is going to be based on how straightforward we are with them. All right. It's not your expertise of your knowledge. You could build trust with people, Brayley, when you start by when they ask you a question saying, hey, you know what? I don't know the answer to that. Let me call my mentor. They're going to trust you more. versus you thinking, oh, I got to know the answer and let me ums and ahs and make some shit up. You're actually yielding no trust, Dwight, by acting like you know the answer. If we want trust, just be you. Best thing that Sean told me was like, dude, I hired you because, dude, you have a background in sports and you don't know anything about business, so don't start acting like you do know stuff about business. I was like, oh, touche. Okay. I didn't know that's why. He goes, yeah, dude, do you think I would run ads that say athletic military background required if I wanted you to be an expert at this? I was like, huh, got you again. There you go. Makes sense? A lot of us are smart. And guys, I play dumb, but I'm actually pretty intelligent. Okay? Like, but sometimes we need to dumb ourselves down though. Some of y'all are too damn smart. You gotta just say, you know what? Okay, let me just simplify this. I don't need to know everything. I need to just let me just meet them where they are. And I mean the client where they are. I'm not gonna overtalk them. I'm not gonna, and when I say overtalk, I don't mean talk over them. I mean talk about things that don't matter. When I first got into IULs and things like that, I started talking about IULs like I was the IUL freaking encyclopedia. And I can imagine that you guys starting in insurance, you start to do that, which is why at the beginning, Bryce, we see folks killing it. And then they start to know some stuff and then they start over explaining stuff and they wonder why they ain't selling no more. You stopped simplifying, you learned some stuff, and now you're over explaining. And now they say, I want to think about it. Anybody agree with that?
Yep.
All right. Who went through? I went through that. But we got to take a step back. We got to take a step back. Yeah, you got it, brother.
I'm sorry.
No.
So I just want to kind of relate with this too. And this is what we were talking about in our team meeting earlier. I was telling Connor and everybody that talk about everything but life insurance. And it kind of brings me back to, it's the same thing. I used to be in the car business for like 15 years, and I used to train people how to sell cars. And these new people that come on the lot, they had no idea what to do. So they'd run out there, look at this car. It's got power windows, locks, car. These people know more about that product, the car, than that person does, the salesperson. So I said, go out there and talk about everything but the car. And they're like, what? No, just go do it. Go talk about yourself, talk about this, anything but the car. Get in the car, look at it, drive it, but don't talk about on the drive, nothing about the car. Talk about other things. And that's what we have to do in this business. Talk about them, yourself, each other. Because they're already in the car, they're already in the lot. They're going to buy a car. What are they doing there?
Yes.
These people fill out the form, they go at life insurance. That's what they're doing.
Thank you.
They're just going to buy from somebody that they trust. If they don't buy from you, they're going to call the next person.
Yo.
Or they're going to call them.
Dude, thank you for that's what I meant. Do you really believe they filled it out? Because if you believe they filled it out, dude, when they walk to the car lot, you believe that they want a car, dude. You're not trying to sell them a tricycle.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, dude, they want a car. Obviously, you're here. So let me get you to like me enough that you let me take you on a damn test drive, get you to like me more, and then get back so deep that you feel like, dude, you just have to do it. Makes sense? Like we're too deep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Too deep.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what get our clients too deep. They filled out a form. Let's take them to the deep end where they don't know how to swim and they need you to get to the edge of the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense? Like that's what we're doing with our clients. We take them and go, hey, come on, come out here. And they're like, oh shit, I can't swim. I'm like, I know, that's why you need me. You need me. I'm your flotation device. Make sense? I'm gonna help you. And they've told you all their fears, everything that's going on in their life. Remember that dam I told you about? That dam with the holes, and we got to plug the holes in the dam. Now I got all the holes figured out through questions. Now it's time I can start plugging those damn things up. All right. So there was one thing on here, overcoming doubt, vision, and success habits. We hit on this before, Bryce. It was a while ago, but it was false beliefs. Is that it?
Limiting beliefs.
Limiting beliefs. There we go. Can you talk about what those mean and get some examples?
Yeah. it really comes down to awareness and having a real conversation with yourself about what you're telling yourself. So if I'm Garrick, right, and I'm saying, I don't want to tell people that I'm 20 because I fear that they may not take me seriously because I'm too young, that's a limiting belief versus what we were just talking about. I want to tell people that I'm 20 so they know that I'm a young dude on my hustle trying to do big things for my family and be a millionaire before I'm 30. You know what I mean? And be driving in a Range Rover to my kids' soccer practices on a Wednesday. And they're like, why the hell? You know what I mean? And like, so that's clients actually love it when you say that type of stuff because they want to be a part of your story and helping you out. So the limiting belief is I don't want to tell them because I'm scared of what they'll think of me versus I'm going to embrace it, not care what they think of me and tell them because I know it's going to help. Right. Or you get, when you have a dial day and people tell you, you have a couple people tell you, I don't remember filling this out. And your mind starts to go down the path of these leads must suck. So anytime it's really anytime you catch yourself telling yourself something that is putting any sort of ceiling on or limit on what you can do, right? I get asked all the time, is it okay to call on Sundays? Is it okay to call people in the mornings? Is it okay to call people in the evenings? Do I need a phone number for the state that I'm calling it? I'm in Florida, they're in, North Carolina. Is it okay to call people? So like, it's really just about being cognizant. Like, imagine if you didn't ask that question or somebody didn't say, yes, it's okay. And you decided to not call somebody on Sunday because you didn't know whether you could call people on Sundays or you didn't know if it was okay to call people in another state. You're literally limiting this belief that is limiting yourself. Right. So it's just like and when I first started, I was so used to a typical 9 to 5, like schedule that I found myself being at home before 6 p.m. every day and not working weekends and all these things that like I didn't realize that I was putting these limits on myself because I didn't have like the belief that I could do anything that I wanted. Does that make sense? And so like, and I have like a whole document of all these different things that we tell ourselves that hold ourselves back. And I can pull it up, but it's essentially just, again, it comes down to awareness and being cognizant of all those things that might stop you from doing something. That's limiting beliefs. And so the more you can be aware and start to break those down and even like asking a question of, hey, what do you do here? Or how do I get over this? Or is it okay to do this? Like that's at least better than not doing anything at all. But we all have them. There's all something in our business right now that we're not doing because we're like not sure if it's okay or we don't want to, risk offending somebody or think it's going to hurt our business or whatever the case is. So putting ceilings on ourselves essentially is what it comes down to.
And I think the biggest way to, I'd say overcome those is get around people. All right. Get around people who don't have those beliefs. But also, if you want to win, all right, and this is big, if you want to win, you got to believe, right? You got to believe. You're like, we're going to lead. This is sales. This is lead driven. A lot of the limiting beliefs come around leads. I can't get, it's too, I'm not ready for mortgage leads. Older leads don't pick up. I need new leads, but I can't afford them. Like we have all these reasons behind leads is the reason why we're not where we want to be. But then I talk to Gerson, who works with Jay Masca, and he's got nothing but guys selling 30, 40 grand a month on aged leads. You know what I'm saying? Like, here we go, Steve. I've earned 36.83 calling 4-year-old leads on a Sunday. My bad. But these are the limiting beliefs that people have. People go to spending more money on newer leads when the reality is they just need to get better at what they're doing. Some of these limiting beliefs actually are costing you more money versus you start actually believing in you, your profitability starts going up like crazy. Because there's something to have limiting beliefs, but also have an ego. That's kind of where I was. I had limiting beliefs, but I had an ego that would like make me want to outwork these limiting beliefs. You know what I mean? But it was like, dude, just get over it. All right? Open up. Start doing this. You know what I mean? Get your referrals. Do this. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, it's not always more on the top end. Okay?
You know what? A huge,
Yeah.
like, man, and you know, I'll say this is like, there are plenty, like, I'm trying to get better every day, and I have so much to work on. And, um, man, there's obviously people that have crushed it way more than me. But one thing that I felt helped me early on is I tended to have this default towards optimism and belief in the people around me. And I notice a lot of new people coming in, or not a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. I notice that something that sometimes will hold newer people back that come in is more a default towards pessimism, or like any coaching advice, feedback, or what they're hearing on calls like this, a default towards like questioning it. And I just know that when I started, I had this like, dude, if Dom tells me to call this type of lead, I'm going to do it. If they say this is how to do it, I'm going to do it. And I think a huge limiting belief that we have is like, a lot of us don't really know me, don't really know Dom, don't really know Jason, don't know Zach, you don't know the people on the trainings. And so we have this like default, like questioning whether or not they're actually trying to help us or whether or not the information they're giving is true. And a consistent quality that I see in people that crush it is they go the other way, complete opposite. Is it's like a default towards optimism, a default towards gratitude to the people that are there to help, a default towards believing that the information that they're receiving is there to help them and have their best interests in mind. And so again, that's one of those things that like you just kind of have to be aware of when you are on calls like this. Are you thinking, I don't know, or I know that he said he wrote 30 grand on age leads, but like, is he saying that just to say that, or did he actually call age leads? You know, on any call that you're on, like you got to catch yourself and be conscious and aware of how you're taking in the information. Because again, a consistent thing you hear of people that are crushing are like, oh my gosh, I joined all these calls and I watched all these YouTube videos and I'm just so grateful for all the information that was shared with me and I took it and run with it. Right. And then you hear people that aren't crushing it saying like, yeah, jump on all these calls and trainings, but like all they talk about is like mindset and stuff. And there's like, not all this is not, they didn't give me the, you know, the number one, you know, closing word track, you know? And so that's, I think, a kind of along the same lines of limiting belief of, you know, something that you got to kind of be aware of as you're plugging into stuff like this. And at the same time, kind of like what you were just saying, Dom, a huge thing that helps limiting beliefs is plugging into calls and being a part of things and seeing other people winning and hearing other stories. Because when you are by yourself in your bedroom or your kitchen or whatever, and not, you know, not being a part of what we have going on and hearing all these other success stories and what other people are doing, it's so easy to get in your own head.
Oh man.
If there were not weekly trainings and Zoom dials and YouTube, I would not be
Dude, I'd be
here.
out of business.
Yeah,
You
come
kidding
on.
me? I love when people are
No
so
way.
like they're so entrepreneur. I'm like, bro, like you need this. I need this. All right.
Yeah.
When Wetmore last week, was it last week, week before? He said that his default was pessimism.
And I saw some people shake their heads
Okay.
like this when he said that.
You guys
know what
remember?
I
You guys
mean?
remember like that? That's dude. John Wetmore. That he makes hundreds of millions of dollars in insurance. Okay. His first. Now I started raw, right, ready to rip. I believed everything people told me. Cool. Boom. Him on the other end. He started with 4 kids. Okay, 4 kids, a mortgage, a divorce, a new wife, a new kid. He wasn't so trusting.
Yeah.
Just be real. You got to know where you are, okay? But he knew that, and he did for 3 years. He realized he was the problem. He goes, when things changed for me in year 4, who wants to wait till year 4 to make the change? Hey, for his result, I'll wait. See, this is the part. That was a trick question. I don't want nobody to be like, nah, it's too long. Dude, your time is your time, bro.
Right.
Don't try to speed it up. I bet you he'd look back and go, damn, I wish I got it as fast as Dom. And now he looks back and goes, well, shit, it really don't matter if I got as fast as Dom. Look where I am now.
Facts.
Dude, you start comparing yourself to people, you get robbed. But he said that. He said, I thought everything they were telling me. When I heard Dom on a training, I thought he was bullshit. I thought he was just Sean's friend. And then he started realizing, oh, it's them. Like, they're actually real people and they actually do care and they're not lying to me. And okay, well, I guess I'll just start trusting 1,200 days after I started the business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you guys, you're on your time. It's cool. Nobody's trying to rush you or tell you this is how you have to feel. But what I will tell you is that once you get there, that's going to be the most serene place for you in your business. And what I mean by serene is that you're not going to be worried about the small stuff. There's going to be big shit for you to worry about. Cool. But the small shit, you're not going to be sweating that stuff. You know what I mean? For Bryce not to have to sweat the small shit, like, dude, I wonder, is Don like, is he cutting some of my commissions? Like, do they take some of it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what happens with the leads? Like, what's going on? Like, is that link that he sends, is that special? Do they get paid on the back end for that? Like, do they want us to buy these leads so that they can get paid? Because I won't, now you freaking blow yourself up. Only person losing in that scenario is you, Ray. That's it. Because the company, they're fine. Dom, Bryce, Sean, Mike, fine. You suffering because you don't believe. But that's why we put this work in day in, day out. Week in, week out. Because we want to earn that, Claudio. I want to earn your trust. How do you earn it? Pick up the phone when you call. Do what we say we're going to do. I think that's about it. You know what I mean? If you mess up, apologize. Makes sense? Like, it ain't that deep. Makes sense? It's really not. But it does take something for you to go, I'm ready just to go. Right? I'm ready just to go. Me and Zach, I've known Zach since I was 6 years old. Makes sense? He was ready to go now. I didn't change what I was doing. We didn't change anything. He just decided that, yep, now I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to burn the ships. I'm ready to let's change this thing up. That's it though. But when you decide that, you decide when that time is right. All right. Sharing your sales. We're talking about those limiting beliefs. I promise you guys, like it's, in Red, I busted your ass the other day about not sharing your sales. And I promise you this, and I'm gonna be very transparent with you guys. Like, if this business, like we help each other. And I don't mean help each other by like, oh, when you sell a policy, we get paid an override. Dude, if I just had somebody who we made no overrides on, but would just run the plays all day long, you know how much more money we would make? Red, do you know the impact you would have for me, my family, and the future of your team if you just shared every sale at the time when you sold it? Because somebody is having a limiting belief at that time in their life that day. And if you would have shared it, they would have believed in themselves and got their ass on the phone. But when you're sharing at 11 p.m., 12 p.m., it's really just saying, look at me. You gotta be a team person. Makes sense? And like sometimes we don't think that. We just think, oh, do they make money? Like, no. We need to be able to share the message. Makes sense? I don't want to get biblical with you, but Jesus did, like, he shared the word, but he had people who shared it with him. Like just this is the type of company we are a part of. You're like, I didn't join this thing for multi-level marketing and feel good. Okay, well, just hang it up then right now. Quit. We make money multi-level marketing the shit out of ourselves, by the way. And I'm not afraid to be like, this is MLM. I don't care. You could go out there and sell by yourself and make 3, 4, 500 grand by yourself. That ain't multi at all. But the second you go, hey, I want to be multi, is the second I need you to start helping the team. Otherwise, just stay singular and do your thing in the corner. But the second we go, I want to make an override, is the second we got to roll. We got to cheer for the team, brother. We got to be the team. And if all of us ran our teams like that, we wouldn't have nothing to worry about. Nobody on here. Because Braylee would know when she puts people on Zoom, there's people leading them. She doesn't have to be there. Make sense? So sharing ourselves, sharing what we're doing helps us get out of our own way. When those things are going off all day, when you hear the chat, when you see that chat, when I wake up on the West Coast and I see somebody on the East Coast already made a sell, do you understand how motivated I am to work that day? Mm-hmm. You understand when a whole Sunday goes by, I was messing with you guys and be like, yo, was there a glitch on Sunday? Like, were y'all all like playing Minecraft or something like that? Because Sunday was a great day to sell, but nobody sold nothing on Sunday. And if you did, you were so special and didn't share it with everybody else. Because somebody else had a limiting belief yesterday that, man, should I be working on Sunday? But you made a sell, did it by yourself, and didn't help Claudio get out of his own way. I'm just using your name, bro. I don't know. But hopefully, do you guys see how this all works? How we all work together to help each other? It's not we got leaderboards and stuff like that. I know you guys are all great. You know what I mean? But this is about getting us motivated day in, day out. And you don't have a 9-to-5 office that you're in and somebody freaking on your ass every day telling you to go to work like Jason used to be at. Jason, remember that place? Remember that place? Shoot.
Yeah.
Watching your screen, doing everything. Holy smokes. You guys, we don't want to micromanage. Just help us. Please. You know what I mean? But it's like, dude, but we're never going to micromanage. Because that's just not those who can't manage micromanage. Like, we're not going to do that. But we need it. The new agents need it. Darlene needs to see sales popping off all day long, 7 days a week, so that she believes that I should be getting paid. It's hard to believe that you should be getting paid 6, 7 days a week when our chat goes off only 3 days a week. Make sense?
Yep.
It's like we got to be the ones. So I want to know who's down for the ride, because we got self-belief, our belief, all this self-talk, affirmations and stuff like that. But when you start focusing on the bigger team, your team starts rocking.
Money creates money.
Can I say something? On the kind of like what you were saying with like limited beliefs, I definitely had like a limited belief when it came to like using social media as a tool for your business. And I think when we went to that meeting in Florida, and Sean was pretty much talking about how the biggest marketing tool you have is social media. And then you basically, I remember one time we were talking, and you were like, I don't be posting this for me or for the people I know. I posted, I can't remember what you were saying, but I'm pretty sure you remember that day. You were just talking about posted sales and doing everything and like the energy that it creates and what it will do for you. So like I said, like 2 weeks ago, I kind of had like my little epiphany, like my aha moment. And I was like, I'm just going to dive in and start doing things that I normally don't really do and like using my social media. And it is kind of interesting how it's uncomfortable doing, but the more that I post and the more you start to see like who's watching and like what energy it draws. And the next thing you know, you got people in your DMs asking you like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I was going to do this, but this company did this. Like, how do you guys work? And just, it kind of opens up the floodgates, and it really brings you new people, but it also like keeps you centered, because now you feel like an obligation to like, now I got to get another sale. Because if one day I didn't post nothing and I had a couple of people being like, no sales today. And it's like, oh, wow. Oh, y'all watching. You know what I mean? So it's almost been like a little extra motivational tool. And I just think that the more you kind of put out like whether it's WhatsApp or Instagram or anything like that, even if some people think it's corny or if it looks like this or that's not really my style, you really start to see like an energy shift of like what it brings to you, like in your aura of like, building your business. I can't say that after just posting for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. It brought me like 4 or 5, potential recruits.
And check this out. And I love it for the recruiting piece. Hell yeah, right? But dude, you're gonna see it in your bottom line. Like you're gonna see it recruiting early and letting the world know what I was doing helped my bottom line stay where it needed to be because I needed that accountability. Sometimes we need people to perform for and to perform with. All right. Well, you got people to perform with all around you, but who are you performing for? And
And I
sometimes
think it lets you see the growth too, like the growth of your business. So, I've been posting like the leader. I save everything to a highlighted folder. So like, obviously like the leaderboards and stuff. But over time, if people aren't really like, oh, I don't know what this is, but like if you keep posting and you're growing in your business, then they're going to see the growth. And I think it even bring even more people outside of them. Just like, yo, I don't know what he's doing, but he's been posting it for 6 months now, and it's getting higher and better.
dude, if you post consistently, it just starts. I just got a message. Hey, Dom, my daughter is 25. She's working in a fertility clinic as a scheduler. She's been struggling to find her purpose. I've talked to her about you and showed her your Instagram. And she said I could give you her number. Hopefully, you guys can talk this week. She really needs some help. This is somebody who is my wife's best friend who passed away's friend from high school. And it's her daughter, who I've never met. And one of y'all are going to work with her when I hire her. Makes sense? But that's just by putting it out there. But she's been probably watching me for years. But this is the first message she sent. And it's somebody near and dear to her daughter. Somebody refers their daughter to you. You think that's the first time they saw one of your posts? Nope. Makes sense? Like I'm telling you, consistency yields a lot. It yields a lot. All right. And then on both ends, your personal production and your recruiting. So follow each other. That's Bryce's Instagram there. I'll share mine in the chat. And everybody on here, like we should all be sharing, like following each other on there. Like if you share something,
each other.
tag me, and I'll share it on mine. I mean, like we just like you can do that all day long. It's validation in this real world, weird world of social media that we live in. All right, it pays to be true. It pays to be the real person that they click on. Make sense? It's really cool in this day and age where a lot of these folks aren't who they say they are. And we don't do a lot of marketing saying that you'll never see me renting a Ferrari and doing a video. I don't do that stuff. I have friends who rent Ferraris and stuff, and they do that stuff. I'm not doing that. Does that make sense? I want to attract people based on what we really have and what's real, not a rented Ferrari in Miami. Makes sense? If you like I got a Tesla I own. We can videotape that. But we don't need to do all that type of stuff. Just be real. Be the real you. Be the real you. And there's some people out there I'll share with you guys if you're really looking to step your personal brand up on Instagram, because there's a lot of people you could follow.
Hey, Dom, I want to say one last thing. We talked earlier about when we talk to these people, as far as like just building the rapport and like telling about yourself and find out about them.
Sure.
If you do this, like a lot of people will say, well, I get these objections from this and that, and I talk to my wife. If you do that and you build that rapport with these people, those objections will just go away. I promise you, they're gone. They don't come up with any objections. I mean, maybe not 100% of the time, but most of the time. But if you build that rapport and you do everything you're supposed to do on that part of it, all those little objections like, okay, well, let me think about it. Let me talk to my wife. Let me talk to my husband. Not right now. I can't afford it. Those will just go away. I promise you. The majority of them.
Yeah, I agree with you, because those are just smoke screens for them not trusting you as much as they should. And sometimes you guys hear they don't trust me as in they didn't like me. Don't get confused with trust. There's a lot of you who they like you, but they don't trust you enough to do business with you. Now, sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow. It was hard for me. I used to be kind of like, what the hell? I used to tell Sean, well, they liked me. He'd be like, dude, not enough to give you their checkbook, though. And I'd be like, oh, what the-" get all frustrated. But you got to realize that like doesn't sell. You guys get that? You got a lot of your friends like you, right? Do our friends buy insurance or buy our products from us all the time? Y'all been in sales before or done anything in the past? Read you were in cars. Did all your friends just come and buy cars from you just because you were Red the car guy? Hell no. No, they didn't. Makes sense? So like they gotta trust. Trust. And a lot of our friends don't trust us as businessmen and women. That's why they're friends. They met us, we were doing keg stands and doing stuff like that. Makes sense? Like that's when they met us.
Yep.
We're different now. Now you're like, no, I met my friends in church, and I'm like, great, dude. I met my friends in college. Okay? It's different. They have, I'm a new person, changed. Makes sense? So let's, any questions, comments about anything? We're a little bit over now, but we'll get this recording out and hopefully be some good help. Tomorrow we have mastering the sales process. All right, so this would be good. Jason, we're gonna need some of your help tomorrow, okay? All right.
All right.
Well,
You got it.
thanks, dude. All right. And Jason's laying it down, 32 grand through 3 weeks. Jason, what's your highest previous to this? And yeah, what's your highest previous to this? Actually, let me stop.
In here or in the other business, in my other business?
Here at FFL, where you're keeping the money, bro.
This is my highest month. I mean, this month or last month rather, I wrote over 60,000, and so far, third weekend 32,000, and there's another batch coming through, whatever that's going to be.
Let's go. Let's go. Cash flow different?
Yeah, a lot different. There's money in my bank, and I'm like, what the hell? I thought I paid my shit, and then it's like, what's that doing in there still? There's like 18 grand still in there, and I'm like, all right, well.
Let's go. All right. Who's joining them? All right. June, massive month. Everybody, let's have a record month. Everybody on here. Everybody shared your chance to have a record freaking month, and let's work every single day. Every day until you hit it. I promise you, your bank account, your family, they'll thank you for the decision that you made June 2nd. All right. But ride this thing out till June 30th and then look back and go, did I give it all I had? If you did, you'd be great. If you didn't, dude, we got your back. Does that make sense? If you don't have the result that you were seeking, makes sense. We won't let anybody drown if you're doing the right things. All right. I look forward to seeing you guys in Phoenix. A lot of you guys will be at the lock-in. If you are going to the lock-in, I think there's 4 of you guys on here. I'm going to shoot you guys some leads, so you'll have those on top of whatever leads you're already getting. All right. That's a big move. Everybody, I think Garrett, Kylie. We got new agents who've been with us less than 90 days, 60 days that said, hey, I'm hopping on a plane and going to Phoenix because I heard that this is what winners do. I didn't call Kylie up and say, hey, you got to go there. She decided. Winners decide to win. Okay? Just so y'all know. And then when winners decide to win, we throw gas on it and say, hey, since you decided to do that, we're going to get you some more leads. So look out for those leads on Wednesday. I'll see you guys Thursday at the lock-in and then Friday at Ignite in Phoenix. All right. So have a great day. Bryce, thanks for setting this up. And tomorrow we'll get into it. And Connor, take that story, bro. Practice that story. Everybody on here, you have a story. Practice it. It's not just going to come naturally. You got to work on that stuff, dude. It was very uncomfortable for me to talk about me having cancer. I went from having cancer at 19 to never talking about it again until I got to insurance. You with me? Like, I did not want to talk about it, but I had to find the pain, the beauty in the pain. And I'm in a business right now to where that pain will help me get to the beauty. Make sense? So use it, dude. Everybody on here has one. And if you want help refining it, all that type of stuff. I talked to Sean a lot about my story. I didn't just make that up. He's like, you had cancer. We talked about this. He goes, dude, your mom. Talk about your mom and what you do here. I didn't just we can have these conversations to paint your story, to paint it. All right. Sometimes you need a different mind or something like that to help you put some of this stuff together. I'm here to help you. Bryce is here to help you. We'll help you do it. All right. Have a good day, you guys. Later.
See you guys.